Okay, so what makes the Cloyes Hex-a-Just timing set unique is it actually has the piece that goes on the pin from the cam, if you see here, that gives you the ability to dial in more accurately your timing, because as that goes on the pin you can then turn this to get advance or retard on your timing set. So we're going to show you how this goes on. We've got our timing chain here that we put on the cam gear. We've got our Hex-a-Just pin adjustment on there. This is our cam bearing, cam thrust bearing. It goes with the silver side towards the block, and then we'll bring it over here. If you look on the cam gear itself, this circle or this hole here needs to line up as close to possible with the circle that we lined up when we put our gear on. So we'll come down here and make sure that those are lined up, and then put our hex adjuster on the pin, and now we need the bolts to put it on. Okay, so we've got everything set up. Again, we've got our Hex-a-Just pin set to the center point. We're going to just snug down our cam bolts. We've got the cam lock on. We did put a little Loctite on it, so again, we're just going to snug it down because we're going to probably need to come back and adjust our timing on these. So we're just going to get it snug for now. Okay, so now we've got everything on, we can come back and check our valve clearance. Okay, so now that we've got the timing set on, we can take our stop plate off of the #1 cylinder. We're going to put a little modeling clay on here before we put the head gasket and head on so that we can check our valve clearance. You can use any sort of modeling clay that you have. It's not real important what kind you use, it's just it's a material to use to actually check the actual depth and the valve clearance on the head. So let's get all that put on and we'll move to the next step. So we've got our modeling clay. What we're going to want to do is make sure that we fill in the valve galleys themselves and go around it. So we're going to break off some here and press it in, making sure it goes completely into the valve galleys. Before we put the head gasket and head on. Okay, I think it's ready. So now we've put our head gasket and our head on. Now we're going to bolt it down, and then we can check our valve clearance. So you can tell on our head that we've actually replaced 2 of the valve springs in here. These are the valve springs that came in it. On the #1 cylinder, we replaced the valve springs with test valve springs, which are really low compression, which give us the ability to check our valve clearance. So that is something that it makes this job a whole lot easier. If you've got some low compression test valve springs, you can put them on. Okay, just like we did with the timing set, we're just snugging down our head bolts, and as in most cases, what you do is you start in the center and you work your way out on the head to make sure everything lays down uniformly. The heads we're actually using are the Edelbrock Performer RPM 6089 heads. This is a 6089-5. That means that this particular head has been set up to take our hydraulic lifter setup. So this is the way that the heads will come. Make sure that you get the right heads for the way that you've set up your engine build. Again, making sure the planning, all the components need to work together. This one is set up for the kind of lifters that we're using. We've got everything snugged down, so now we can check our valve clearance.